Hey, welcome back. Today we are on the K-Work. So it's winter time now, there's snow outside. I can't drive this on track, so I'm gonna do some maintenance basically, ready for next season. I've got a few jobs I want to do and I'm going to be tackling in the next few videos of this, but today we're gonna focus on one which is not necessarily gonna improve anything other than the actual car itself, but it's not performance based. Let me show you what I want to look at today. So one of the things I noticed when I went for one of the track days and I took the license plate off, I noticed, ooh, there's a bit of a hole there. So it seems like just down in here is a fairly common place for K-Works to get rust. Searching the internet, I've seen quite a few people have this issue. So I've got myself up here. I bought myself a welder. So what I plan to do is I want to cut out the little section and then weld in a new plate, basically repair it. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. It'll be my first time in a long time doing some welding, to be honest. At least a couple of years. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into it. So what do we need to do? We need to probably get the front bumper off this. I have no idea how to do it. I've never done it before on this car. So I guess pop the bonnet, start looking at where clips are. Hopefully it's going to be easier than GTR. As you can see at the moment, the GTR's front end still is off. I'm halfway through a video on this car, on the GTR. So you'll be hopefully, well, it'll be out before this video comes out anyway, so you will have already seen one of the videos for that. And I've also got some parts I need to order for the next job I'm doing on there. I've already found some parts that I need to replace, just, you know, worn out rubber parts. So yeah, anyway, let's jump into the K-Works. So what are we gonna do first? I guess, I don't think I need to take the headlights out, at least I don't think I do. So I think the first thing I need to do is just do a bit of trim removal. Looks like there's a couple of trim pieces there. I'm guessing there'll be maybe a couple on the arch here. And then let's have a look underneath. Well, it looks like there should be underneath, but one of them I think has already come off. Let's have a look. Let's get that done. There's a big wet patch down here. I need to clear up before I go laying in it. For such a long time, I always removed trim pieces with screwdrivers and that, and I decided to buy myself, I mean this was before I moved to Japan, I bought myself a trim removal kit. They're super cheap, and I don't know why I didn't buy one earlier, because they're so cheap and they make life so much easier. Okay, there's one. Unfortunately, my trolley is being used by my GTR, so I can't use that. So it looks like we've got a couple of clips along the front here, plus the clips. There's a couple of clips on the actual body itself. Then it looks like to remove the wheel arch, there's two clips here, and also one, hopefully you can see that underneath. There's also one clip around here, and then obviously the other side is the same. So let's pop that off and see if we can get this bumper off. I can't see anywhere else. It all looks fairly loose. So I think it will just be a case of dropping it off a little bit. Obviously we'll need to unplug the lights. But yeah, I think that will come off pretty quickly actually. Let's see. Okay, so that's the clips out. Hopefully this should just now pop out. There's a couple of little tabs you just need to prise in. That's it. Now I don't think I need to take it out any more than that. So, any more than that. Oh, that's a lie, I do. Because it looks like there's a screw in here I need to get to take this front bumper off. It looks like there's a screw holding on the side of the bumper here. I'm guessing there must be one this side that I didn't see. Yes, there is. Okay. So, does that mean this bumper's going to come off now? Oop. Yes, it does. Let's take off the plug for this fog light. Okay, and let's just... Okay. Okay. That is off. Now, same problem. I haven't thought about where I'm going to put everything. So this is also going to go down the side here, in between the two cars. Will it stand on its own? Possibly not. I'll lay this one down. Bumper itself, as you can see here actually, one stayed in there. There's a couple of rubber grommets that sit here that the bumper slides onto, and then that's where the screw is here. So let's just pop him back out of there. Oh, looks like I've broken it. Okay, well, problem to come back to, I guess. Right, so now we can get a good view of what we're playing with here. So it looks like we've got a couple of other rust points which I might have to just clean up. Hopefully they're not holes. We can just clean those up. But this is definitely a hole section. So I'm thinking I can just cut this section out and then we'll put a plate in there. Well, that's the hope anyway. But other than that, the rest of it looks pretty good. While I'm here, I'll probably leave the front of this off. I want to look at a way I can maybe run a cold air duct. So it might be that I fabricate something. I don't know yet. Oh, actually, there's a big hole under here that I've not seen before. So I wonder if I can make something that goes up there. Goes up there and comes up through here. Oh, instead of this little hose. But we'll see. Okay, got some overalls on now. Let's make this first cut. Yeah, scary times. Okay, update guys. I got carried away, so we've got one side left to do. So yeah, basically I've cut out this section now. I've got rid of all the rust parts. It's because it's double skinned. As per usual, double skin stuff, once it gets moisture in between it just starts rotting away. So I've kind of spread the skin apart as much as I can without doing the spot welding. So basically I'm going to get some treatment in there and then close it back up. Here I've taken out as well. I've tried to keep them as square as possible. I know it's slightly elongated, but as square as possible to help when I put new plates in. What's left to do is these pieces on this side. So I'll probably tackle that another day because I'm running out of time today. So I'm probably going to treat these just before I pack up, just to stop any rust kind of building up in the meantime. I mean, it shouldn't, it's only going to be hopefully a couple of days, but yeah, just in case, I'm going to put a bit of treatment on there. Of course, once I have done all of this, I'm going to cavity treat this whole front bar here. I've got some special spray for that. So hopefully we shouldn't get any, if there is further rust inside, hopefully that will kind of cancel that and prevent it from getting any worse. Yeah, so far it's going okay. But obviously the next big thing, once I've cut these holes out, the next big thing is going to be welding it up. Like I said, I've got my new welder here. I do need to get some plate though. I don't have any plate at the moment, but I wanted to cut it out to see what I'm dealing with. But it looks like it is just kind of probably like 1 mil plate stuff, so it's quite thin. So that's going to be, of course, that's going to be super fun to weld with. Anyway, you'll probably catch me up in a little bit, continuity error, because I'm going to have to do this another day. So in a minute. Okay guys, it's been a few minutes. I've been a busy boy, excuse my face. I've been wearing a mask, so I've got the indents. So we're on the weld repair for the K-Works. Now I went ahead and cracked on with this because I was kind of treading into unknown waters, so I just wanted to see how it went. Now I did a first attempt and it was terrible. Basically I just hadn't cut enough out of the bodywork, so as I started to weld it blew a hole, so I thought, oh no, it's okay, I'll just put another little patch in and then that blew a hole. So I gave up and I basically cut out the bit that I put in and then some. So I'm really happy. So this is the one we're looking at. I'm really happy with how that's come out. Now I hold my hands up. I'm not a welder. I have experience welding, but it's been quite a few years and definitely not this kind of welding. So yeah, it looks a little bit like pigeon poop, but it's strong. I've got plenty of penetration. I've actually had my little endo camera up inside here and I can see all the penetration come through. So I'm really happy about that. So actually it's come out way better than I expected it to, using this flux core. So I will now walk you through this next one that I have to do and show you kind of the full process of what I've actually done. And then obviously we have two more small pieces over here. Hopefully I do have a little bit more to cut out for these, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm probably going to jinx it, but hopefully those two are not going to be so bad as these. This by far looked and was the biggest one. So I've cut this back further than I had originally, just learning from the experience of this one. So the next thing is to make up a plate to go up in there, and then we'll start tacking it in. It's a lovely, beautiful sunny day today, so I'm going to crack on and get this other patch done. Hopefully I've got a couple of hours spare. So I've cleaned it up. So basically we need to make a template. So that's the first thing to do, is we'll make a template up out of cardboard. Then from cardboard I'll transfer that onto the sheet metal, cut the metal out, and then yeah, we'll get it in there. I might just, looking at it, I might just tidy up some of these corners and make them a little bit more square. Okay, so I've got my cardboard here in the form of, I think it was the silicone grease. So I was shown this method actually to make gaskets, but I found it's actually coming quite useful to make the template. So it's just a case of holding very still the cardboard, and then we'll get a hammer, and then you just kind of go around the outside. Perhaps not coming up on the camera so clear, but basically it leaves an imprint around the edge of where your hole is, and then you almost just cut around it. So I'm going to cut over size because I want to then make it smaller, exactly the right size. Okay, I need to cut a little bit out of this corner. It's actually not too bad. Definitely need some out of this end. So I've got my cardboard cut out, now let's transfer it onto the sheet. So I've got my sheet here. I did just want a little bit extra on the bottom, so I'm just going to pull it away, and then we're now going to mark it with our scribe. I'm just going to go past the corners that I'd set because I just want to shape them a little bit more when I get it on there. So that is the rough shape. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is the rough shape of what I want. So now we're just going to zip that off. You'll have to excuse maybe the muffled voice. I've got my mask on and I don't want to keep taking it on and off. So I've made my plate. That looks pretty good for size now. Now it's just going to be a case of shaping it. So I just need to take a little bit out of the top corner here, and then that probably will just drop straight in. That's what I'm now playing with. It's not perfect by any means, but once I start welding, a lot of these holes will be filled in. So I guess the next step really is to get this tacked in, and then I can use the hammer just to kind of curve it and shape it. Let's go for it. Okay, that looks pretty good there, so I'm going to tack that in place. So that should be held in there pretty well now. So now it's just a case of making sure everything lines up to where I want it to be. I'm going to get another one in the middle there, I think. Okay, looks pretty good. Maybe one up in this corner would be nice. That's good, yeah, I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Get a couple underneath, I think. Oh yeah, I can feel the strength coming in there now. Nice. Just want to push this corner out a little bit. One in that corner, and then I think we're ready to start going for it. Okay, so it's not perfect. There are a few holes and gaps I've got to fill, but the majority of it's there. So yeah, I'm now going to crack on and get this all welded up. Okay, here we are. I think I've got the patch all welded in now. I have flat wheeled it. I did flat wheel it just because I wanted to make sure I got everything and there was no holes left. So yeah, all in all, that's pretty good. 2 repairs done now. So obviously we just have 2 more on that side to do. I'm really happy with how they've come out. So that's going to be it for me on this session. You'll have to join me in a couple of minutes on YouTube time, or a couple of seconds should I say, and we'll crack on and do the other side. I might just crack on anyway. You've seen me do one, so you've kind of seen me do them all. So yeah, hopefully catch me in a minute when I've repaired all of them. Okay, so I've cleaned it all down now. I've also put a little bit of epoxy filler in there. So that's been curing for a couple of days now, so that should be good. So I'm just going to give it a quick sanding over and then we're ready to start priming it. So I've got 2 paints here. I've got the primer, Holtz, and just a white, generic white. I think it's a Toyota white actually. I mean, this is behind the bumper anyway, so you're not going to see it. So let's get the primer on first and then we'll let it dry and cure, and then we can start thinking about spraying it white. Couple of coats of primer, a couple of coats of top coat. What do we think about this? Now, I did get a little bit of overspray. I wasn't being super cautious, but what do we think? You can barely tell. Super happy with that, super happy with that. Now, once I've got the paint on now, I can see a couple of areas where I probably could have been a little bit better with the sanding down, but this is all going to be behind the bumper, so you're not actually going to see this. So yeah, I'm going to say that's a win. So what's next to do? I think I'm going to get the front bumper back on. Apologies for the shutter noise. Hopefully you can hear me over it. Yeah, it's quite windy out there today. But yeah, I'm going to get the bumper back on and then yeah, call it a day. So I don't know if you remember when we took the bumper off, we had a little piece like this that was broken off. Well, I did manage to find myself a replacement. So there's the replacement part number. So yeah, that's going to go in there nicely. So far, so good on refitting the bumper. It's getting there. Just need a bit more time on it. It is back together. Woohoo! Yeah, I did get a little bit of overspray on that air conditioner radiator, but it's not too bad actually. It kind of makes it look like an alloy radiator now, so it kind of looks like it's aftermarket, but yeah, anyway, the front end is back on. Just need to put the license plate back on and we're ready to go. So that is this episode finished. I now have some extra jobs to do. That's all the big jobs done for over kind of winter period. So I now have some other minor things. I've got a couple more jobs. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 jobs to do on the K-Work. I've got at least 2 jobs to do on the Jimny. The GTR is pretty good now. That just needs a wash. I hope you found this video somewhat informative or interesting. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Yeah, got a few things planned, so looking forward to showing you guys. Anyway, I will catch you, yeah, excuse the rubbish. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, bye.